In this magnificent world, nature surrounds us with its unparalleled beauty. Forests with towering trees, rivers with clear water, and mountains with peaks reaching the sky. All of them are signs of life and biodiversity that we must protect. These beauties are not only a source of peace and inspiration for us, but also our survival depends on the health of these ecosystems. Let's take a moment to pause and listen to the voice of nature. These sounds remind us that we are not only inhabitants of this planet and that we must act as its guardians. Forests, seas, and mountains are all inviting us to protect them. But will we answer this call? However, alongside these beauties, there is a bitter reality. Pollution, climate change, and environmental degradation have become a serious threat to our lives. Everyday factories smoke rises into the sky, and waste pollutes beaches and rivers. This pollution not only affects to our health but also harms wildlife and ecosystems. Climate change, including rising temperature and shifting rainfall patterns, leads to crises such as severe floods and droughts. These realities challenge us and highlight the urgent need for action. Can we respond to this crisis? Can we leave a healthy and sustainable Earth for the future generations? Population growth and industrial development have led to unprecedented pressure on the environment, air, water, and soil pollution. Along with climate change, are serious threats to our lives and those of future generations. According to a report by the Global Air Quality Organization, after high blood pressure, air pollution was the second leading cause of death in 2021. According to the report, in that year, 8.1 million people lost their lives due to breathing polluted air. After 2021, the World Health Organization announced that the maximum recommended annual average for PM 2.5 is 5 micrograms per cubic meter. PM 2.5 refers to fine particles with a diameter of 2.5 micrometers or less, which can penetrate deep into the human lungs and cause respiratory problems. This infographic illustrates the most polluted countries in the world based on IQ Air Statics, a Swiss air quality technology company ranked by annual average concentration of PM 2.5 in 2023. The top 5 air polluting countries are Bangladesh, Pakistan, India, Tajikistan, and Burkina Faso. The average PM 2.5 concentration in the top 3 countries is 10 times the standard recommended by the World Health Organization. Of course, Afghanistan is no exception to this trend. Air pollution during Afghanistan's winters is one of the country's most serious environmental and health challenges. This issue arises from various factors and has significant negative effects on both public health and environment. According to IQAir's 2019 report, a sharp decline in air quality is observed starting in last days of September, reaching approximately 45.1 micrograms per cubic meter. By November, this concentration rises to 60.9 micrograms, and by December, it peaks at 196 micrograms per cubic meter. This level of pollution is classified as unhealthy based on the Standard Air Quality Index. In that year, Afghanistan ranked as the fourth most polluted country in the world. Naturally, the month of December remains a highly polluted month, and the winter pressure also causes people to burn more fuel. In this month, the PM2.5 concentration starts at 145 micrograms per cubic meter, but quickly drops to 58.5 micrograms per cubic meter in the last days of January, and then reaches 40.1 micrograms per cubic meter in the late February. Therefore, the most dangerous time for breathing the air in Kabul during the winter is from late September to late February. Since the re-establishment of Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan, the National Environmental Protection Agency has been making relentless efforts to prevent environmental crises.
د کله نه چې اسلامي امارت انت ته راغلی د فتح راغلی د هغې نه وروسته د چاپېریال ساتنې په بخش کې د یو خانه د چاپېریالي قانون جوړ شوی چې هغه د مختلفو سکتوري جهتونو سره تر اوسه شریک شوی او وخت په وخت باندې هغه اپډیټ کیږي په دې لاره کې موږ مختلفې نورې طرحې لرو چې هغه هم اپډیټ کیږي او د سره سره کار باندې کیږي به شریکو دوم د چاپېریال ساتنې په رابطه باندې موږ د اګایاما پروګرامونه مخته وړي دي تر اوسه پورې چې څنګه خلک په دې باندې پوه شو ځکه دلته چې د تیر 15 کاله شاوخوا کې کوم جنگونه او اشغالونه متعدد تیر شوي دي هغه زمونږ د جامعې د خلکو د ژوندانه ټول اړخونه متضرر کړي دي چې یو اړخ دی هغه چې د هغه د آګاهي اړخ چې دی هغه ډېر متضرر شوی نو په دې باندې کار کوو چې خپله د چاپېریال یا محیط زیست دا د انسانانو په ژوندانه کې څومره اهمیت لري او د حفاظت دپاره یې کومې کړنې باید سرته ورسیږي.
The Kabul municipality, which is one of the key institutions in reducing air pollution, has played a central role in implementing laws and fundamental reforms.
شاروالی کابل من حیث یک نهادی که در شهر کابل فعالیت‌های خود را میکنه، فعالیت‌های خدماتی خود را میکنه و در قسمت نگهداری از محیط زیست میتونه در شهر کابل حرف اول را بزنه، به خاطر که شهر کابل با تمام کیف و کانی که داره، با وضعیت غیر پلانی که در داخل شهر وجود داره، با بعضی مشکلات دیگه که وجود داره، شاروالی کابل مسئولیتش را داره که از اون نگهداری بکنه و به طرف ترقی او را ببره.
This department, by carrying out various projects and collaborating with other national and international organizations, plays a pivotal role in improving an environmental condition of the city.
شاروالی کابل من حیث یک نهاد مسئول خصوصا در قسمت آلودگی هوا که بخش اعظمی از آلودگی هوا در فصل مثال مربوط به مواد سوخته میشه، در قسمت بلند منزل ها اجرات واضح خود را داره. در قدم اول تمام بلند منزل هایی که در شهر کابل هستند باید در قسمت زمانی که زمستان فعالیت میکنن و مرکز گرمیشون از زغال سنگ استفاده میکنه و بعد فیلتر فعال و معیاری داشته باشه، چون شما میدونید که فیلترها با آب و برق کار میکنه، تنها موجودیت فیلتر فعالیت نمیکنه، بعد کفایت نمیکنه، بعد فعال باشه و معیاری باشه.
However, Afghanistan is one of the countries that has a very minimal contribution to global climate change. And the heavy industry fossil fuel energy production, such as oil, gas, and coal, which are the major source of greenhouse gas emissions, are very limited in the country.
افغانستان په ککړتیا یا د تغییر اقلیم کې د دې رول چې دا بیخي د نشت برابر دی. تقریبا د 2015 سروخي چې د افغانستان ونډه پکې 0.08 ده. خو زه فکر کوم چې دا ونډه چې دوی تشخیص کړې دا به هم دوی زیاته ښیي، ځکه افغانستان کوم صنعتي هیواد نه دی چې پرمختللی هیواد دی چې صنعتي فابریکې لري. نو کوم مملکت چې صنعتي فابریکې ونه لري، د صنعت په بخش کې پراخ لاسرسی ونه لري، نو د هغوی ونډه طبیعي خبره ده چې هغه بیخي د نشت برابري.
Despite Afghanistan's large population, the per capita energy consumption is very low. Most people in Afghanistan use natural resources like wood for fuel, which while causing local environmental problems, does not have a significant impact on global greenhouse gas emissions. In Afghanistan, there are very few polluting industries such as steel factories, petrochemicals, or heavy transportation that are common in large industrial countries. Most of Afghanistan's economy depends on agriculture and livestock, which although having some local environmental effects, do not have a significant impact on climate change compared to industrialized countries. Large industrialized countries like the USA, China, and European nations have the largest share in the greenhouse gas emissions. Afghanistan, despite its minimal contribution to global environmental problems, is one of the most vulnerable countries to these crises. Due to climate change and degradation of natural resources, Afghanistan faces issues such as drought, devastating floods, soil erosion, and reduced access to fresh water.
تغیر اقلیم یو عالمی مسله ده. مثلا په افغانستان کې نن سبا چې ګورو په ډېرو ولایتونو کې خلک د وچکالۍ سره مخامخ دي، یا په ډېرو ولایتونو کې هغلته سیلابونه راځي، وخت په وخت باندې لکه تېرو کال کې په 11 شمالي ولایتونو کې راغلي وو، د هغې نه مخکې تقریبا 26 ولایتونه وهلي وو. یا په عموم کې موږ چې اوس ګورو د هوا ګرم وخت دومره اوچت شوی دی چې زمونږ کوم چې طبیعي یخچالونه دي هغې کې تقریبا 101 کیلومتره طبیعي یخچالونه دا تر اوسه پورې ذوب شوي دي یا اوبه شوي دي، چې هغې دوه مشکله پېښ کړي. یو مشکل دا دی چې دا به مخکې او امانت پاتې و، ټول کال به خلکو ته اوبه ورکولې، نو هغه د منځه تللي د وچکالۍ سبب کېږي. دوم دا چې د ډېر ګرمښت په سبب باندې دغه ټول اوبه شوي په ډېرو ځایونو کې د سیلابونو او د تخریبونو سبب ګرځېدلي.
Although Afghanistan has minimal contribution to greenhouse gas emissions and global resource degradation, it is heavily affected by these crises, and local communities and the lives of its people suffer from these environmental problems. Since 2021, Afghanistan has been among the top 10 countries most vulnerable to climate change. This reality indicates the urgent need for global and local action to protect the environment and mitigate the effects of climate change. Despite the many challenges, various institutions in Afghanistan have come together and collaborated to protect the environment even further.
طور که ما در جهان هستین، شهر کابل یک شهری است که تقریبا 8 میلیون انسان بیشتر از او زندگی میکنه و بدون شک به خاطر زمستان نیازمند است که گرم شود و مسئله اساسی هم که وجود داره مسئله آلودگی هوا در فصل زمستان. شهرولی کابل مطابق با اصولی که وجود داره و پالیسی های کلانی که وجود داره در قسمت جلوگیری از آلودگی هوا اجرات خود را میکنه.
هر آن واسطه نقلیه موتوری که چی موتر است، چی موتر تاکسی شخصی، بس از لاری است، موترهای ثقیل است، موترهای دولتی است، موترهای شخصی است، موتورسیکل است، یعنی هر واسطه نقلیه که ذریعه موتور بر ایجاد حرکت میکنه تحت نظارت کنترل پلیس ترافیک قرار داره. هرگاه از ناحیه محیط زیستی فعالیت از اینا مضر تمام شود، و باعث آلودگی هوا شود توسط پلیس ترافیک وزارت امور داخلی امارت اسلامی افغانستان متوقف میشه.
Ministries, municipalities, traffic departments, educational institutions, and NGOs are working to reduce environmental damage through projects like waste management, tree planting, promoting clean energy, and raising public awareness.
په بهرام شرکت سره یو خصوصي شرکت ته د اوبو او انرژي وزارت قرارداد کړی و، تقریبا 10 میګاواټه برق دا تولیدوي. او اوس چې موږ راغلي یو دا پروژه مو کتله، الحمدلله دا په تکمیلېدو ده.
له موږ سره دا لمریزه برېښنا په صحي ډګر کې کومک کولی شي. لمریزه برېښنا له موږ سره د اقلیم په بدلون کې د یوې سالمې ټولنې رامنځته کېدا لپاره کومک او مرسته کولی شي.
These collaborations demonstrate Afghanistan's commitment to environmental protection and improving the quality of life for future generations. Nature and environment are a divine gift created from the collection of the living beings' resources and conditions that exist around each living being. Environmental pollution affects the quality and natural cycle, and it has harmful consequences for the lives of humans, animals, plants, and structures. Today, pollution is one of the most important and severe problems of human civilization, and the role of humans in environmental pollution is very significant.
Families running for their lives before the next hurricane strikes. Biodiversity destroyed in sweltering seas. Workers and pilgrims collapsing in insufferable heat. Floods tearing through communities and tearing down infrastructure. Children going to bed hungry as droughts ravage crops. And all these disasters and more are being supercharged by human-made climate change.
Environmental protection and its preservation are one of the most important issues of human societies today. Various studies show that among the many ways to address environmental challenges, the most fundamental, effective, and cost-efficient method to prevent environmental degradation is for humans to adopt environmentally protective behaviors. Nature was created for the survival of humanity, and there is an inseparable bond between humans and nature. Having a healthy and clean environment is very important for every individual. Fishermen care about the cleanliness and unpolluted states of the oceans and seas. Farmers care about the non-toxic soil, and consumers care about clean products that do not harm to their health. One of the attributes of God is Hafiz, the perceiver, and in the Islamic worldview, the entire existence falls under the protection of the Creator Allah. According to religious teachings, a Muslim should also embody this attribute and consider themselves as the guardian and protector of the trust and blessings, including the human environment in every place and situation.
الله تبارک و تعالی به حکمت خود چیزایی را که پیدا کرده در زمین همه‌اش به نفع انسان ها بوده، همه‌اش به فایده و مفاد انسان ها بوده. از این لحاظ مسلمان ها باید همیشه متوجه باشند که سر محیط بسیار متوجه باشند. هرگاه محیط خراب شود، هرگاه محیط آلوده شود، با زندگی انسان ها دیگر ناممکن میشه، امراض زیاد میشه، مشکلات زیاد میشه، بالاخره سبب هلاکت انسان ها در جامعه میگرده، باعث شیوع امراض میشه که باز در وقت جلوگیریش هم تا حد ناممکن میشه. بنابراین ما شما کوشش بکنیم که همیشه توجه به محیط خود داشته باشیم.
Preventing the destruction and waste of nature is also possible by observing the principles of trustworthiness and preservation. In verse 168 of Surah Al-Baqarah, O people, eat from what is on the earth, that is lawful and pure, and do not follow the steps of sin. Indeed, he is to you a clear enemy. Similarly, in verse 41 of Surah Ar-Rum, it is stated, corruption has appeared throughout the land and sea, by reason of what the hands of the people have earned, so that he may let them taste part of that which they have done, so that perhaps they will return to righteousness. The Prophet of Islam considers the earth to be the mother of humanity and the trustee of Allah. He says, "Strive to preserve the earth and honor it, for it is your mother. Whoever does good or bad upon it will be reported." There is no doubt that health is one of the greatest and most valuable blessings, playing an extremely important and influential role in improving the life of every person. So much so that no one can truly enjoy life without the blessing of health, regardless of how many resources and means of better living they have. The special attention and care that the Holy Quran gives the nature is undeniable. This is reflected in the names of several surahs of the Quran, such as Surah Al-Layl, Surah At-Tin, and many others, as well as in various verses throughout the Quran. But hope is still alive. Young people and environmental effective around the world are making positive changes with their efforts. They show us that every small action can have a big impact.
ما پیامم به عنوان یک شهروند به همه هموطنان میرسه که در فصل زمستان حداقل همون چیزایی که باعث آلودگی هوا میشه کمتر استفاده بکنن. دیگه در رابطه با محیط زیست همیشه با شاروالی همکار باشن. این در توان شاروال نیست که محیط ما را سالم و پاک نگه بداره، تا که اینکه مردم با شاروالی و با دولت همکاری نکنن نمیتونه که شاروالی محیط ما شما را پاک و سالم سازه.
Protecting the environment is a shared responsibility. Let's come together, hand in hand, to create positive changes and build a sustainable future for ourselves and future generations. Each of us can be an environmental hero.